morning, everyone. Lovely to have you all here today. I'm JD, your CEO of this wonderful, wonderful organisation, and we're here for a very special occasion, celebrating 50 years of Talking News. How about that? Absolutely fantastic, wonderful turnout, and lovely to have you all here with us today. Just a massive thanks to the staff and volunteers that have made this possible today. An amazing spread, decorations, a wonderful board of memories. Absolutely check that out if you can. Some pictures going back quite the while, and it's just absolutely fantastic all being here to celebrate the hard work and dedication that's gone into this amazing project. So yes, it's fantastic to take this time to spend together celebrating all of this amazing team and all the amazing things that we've done in our community, you know, spreading the news and building that sense of community over this amazing amount of time, half a century. It's absolutely fantastic. We're fine. I'm glad it wasn't me, to be honest. My phone is not on vibrate, so apologies if it does interrupt. I'll do it slightly in a moment. But yeah, I'm just so glad to be here with you all today, celebrating this special time. So I'm going to pass over to our wonderful former CEO, Lisa Holyhead, to say a few words as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I know that at some point I must have spoken to every single person in this room, because obviously during COVID we did have to make some pretty major changes to the Talking News. Before COVID, just so everybody who wasn't here before COVID, every Friday readers and choosers came in and everything was recorded in the studio, and obviously during COVID we had to close the studio, so we went out and we found people who would read from home using just a mobile phone, and that's really did change the Talking News, because it brought a variety of new people into the service, and also it meant we have a variety of voices every week. But I would just like to say one huge, enormous thank you, because there's one person in this room who has been through the whole thing for the whole 50 years. Don't hide in the corner, Terry. And I just think we really should have a huge round of applause, because without Terry, the service would not exist. Just to embarrass Terry further.
We have a little something for you, Terry. It's nothing much, but we definitely need to acknowledge your hard work and dedication. So thank you so much for everything you've done for the Talking News, for Sight for Wight, and just for being such a lovely gentleman. Thank you.
And just a couple of words from the members. At the end of the day, we do the Talking News for the members because they can't read a newspaper. And although the world has changed and everything is online and digital now, there is certainly an element of people who can't engage with online. So the news that we do every week really is a lifeline for them to understand what is going on locally on their island every week. It's a fabulous service, and I will admit, before COVID we had more direct users. We were sending out around 207 USB sticks a week. We're now sending out about 50, but we have anywhere between 40 and 100 people who listen on Alexa, on YouTube, online, on Facebook, in all different ways. So thank you to everybody here for keeping the members engaged with their community, because at the end of the day, community is so important. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I've got two letters to read to you. One is from the private secretary's office, because Susan Early very kindly wrote to the King to ask him if he might introduce our celebration here. And we did get a letter back on Buckingham Palace notepaper, which I will read to you. Dear Mrs. Early, the King has asked me to thank you for your kind letter sent on behalf of the members of Sight for Wight on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of your Talking newspaper, which is being celebrated in October 2025. His Majesty appreciated your thoughtfulness in writing as you did, and in return he has asked me to send his heartfelt, warmest good wishes to all those who have contributed to this wonderful publication. So that was a very nice letter to have back from him. And also because the High Sheriff, Jack Gazzard, who used to be one of our trustees here, can't make it today, she sent a letter, which again, I'll read to you. Sadly, I cannot join you for this splendid celebration, but it is certainly important to mark it. I remember when COVID shut us all down, and there was a real concern about if we could produce the talking news. The irony was that it had frankly never been as vital for members. A few of us volunteered to record the pieces, and then Chris found a way to edit it into an amazing and varied mix of news across all island media. From disaster came triumph. Huge congratulations to Sight for Wight on always proving how ingenious the team is. And that was from Jack, who's the High Sheriff. And now I'd like to pass over and to introduce to those who don't know is our Lord Lieutenant Susie Sheldon, who I'm very pleased to welcome here.
I'm delighted to be here, and Sight for Wight does an amazing job. The 50 years is very special, and Terry, you don't look old enough to have been here. So well done. When Sue approached me to do an introduction for this month's Talking News, she sent me a stick with the recording of Earl Mountbatten of Burma, who recorded for the first edition of the Talking News. And the history of listening to Earl Mountbatten of Burma talking to all the people on the Isle of Wight was extraordinary. I mean, just sort of sent tingles down my spine, because that is amazing history. So apart from the benefits it brings to all the people who listen to it and the information it disposes, it is history in the making. And these Talking News recordings will go on forever. And despite the new digital world, it is people's voices that matter, particularly for those who are partially or sighted or blind. So I'm deeply honoured I've been allowed to contribute to the most recent version of Talking News, but I'm also very honoured to be here because this is a fantastic charity. It does amazing work, and the staff, the volunteers and the users of the service create a wonderful community. And just looking at this party today, it is wonderful, and thank you for allowing me to be part of it. And as the King's representative, I'm sure, I'd love to have his letter, but I'm sure he would love to be here. He'd probably much rather be here than doing some rather boring job he's probably doing today. But it's wonderful to be here, and thank you very much for inviting me.
We now raise a toast to all our volunteers. So if you'd like to raise your glasses to yourselves and to all those to our volunteers.
You okay with Sam now? Yeah.
Yes. Time for the party.
We're just going to play the recording?
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
recording. So we have the recording available, the Lord Mountbatten one, so we're going to play that now. We get a little taste of history. Alright, so are we ready?
His Excellency, Governor of the Isle of Wight, Admiral of the Fleet, the Earl Mountbatten of Burma.
I am very pleased to have been asked to introduce the first issue of the island's talking newspaper for the blind. I understand that similar ventures are taking place in various parts of the mainland, and it is very gratifying to know that we islanders are not lagging behind the openers in our services to the visually handicapped. A goddaughter of mine runs the talking book service at the famous Moorfields Eye Hospital. She has told me how very much this auricular service means to those who cannot see, and particularly to those who cannot read Braille. I was therefore very pleased when it was decided to include an edited sound recording from the television series about my life and times, in the Talking Books library, and I gather from my goddaughter that this has proved very popular at Moorfields. When I went out to Southeast Asia in 1943 as Supreme Allied Commander, one of my first tasks was to set up a command newspaper to keep the troops up to date with current events. And I know from this personal experience that it is no easy task to provide an information service which will cater for most people's tastes and needs. I would therefore like to congratulate not only the committee of the Isle of Wight Society for the Blind for making funds available for this scheme, but also all those volunteers who give their time so readily to the enormous amount of thought and planning that is required to make a venture of this magnitude successful. Nature is a wondrous thing, and if a person loses one of the 5 senses, nature often compensates by enhancing one or more of the remaining senses. However, occasionally a person with all 5 senses finds that one of their senses is particularly sharp. This is so in the case of my son-in-law, Lord Braven, who has a very keen sense of smell. So keen was it that he was regularly sent out in command of the night patrol of the 5th Battalion of the Coldstream Guards after their landing in Normandy in June 1944, when German resistance held up their advance. One dark night, he turned to his sergeant and said, "The Germans have gone, I can't smell them anymore." And so the first report of the German withdrawal was based on the fact that this patrol officer noted their distinctive smell had disappeared. Finally, I would like to wish every success to this new window for the blind, which I'm sure will give great pleasure to you all for many years to come.
50 years ago, in 1975, Earl Mountbatten of Burma, the first Lord Lieutenant of the Isle of Wight, recorded a message for the first issue of the talking newspaper for the blind. This newspaper was produced by the Isle of Wight Society for the Blind. 50 years later, it gives me, as the 6th Lord Lieutenant of the Isle of Wight, a great pleasure to record a message for the anniversary edition of the Talking News, produced by Sight for Wight. So much has changed in these last 50 years that our world would hardly be recognisable to Lord Mountbatten, but the value of talking books and talking newspapers for those with impaired vision remains as important as it was then. I would like to congratulate all the staff and volunteers of Sight for Wight for the invaluable work they do. I've attended several social gatherings organised by Sight for Wight, including a wonderful party to celebrate the 75th anniversary of VE Day. These gatherings are a wonderful opportunity to socialise, but the spoken word can be a huge sort of comfort in times of isolation, as we learned only too forcefully during the lockdowns of COVID. I congratulate Sight for Wight and all their many dedicated volunteers for all the work they do, and I look forward to the next 50 years of talking news on the Isle of Wight.
His Excellency, Governor of the Isle of Wight.
Right, I know we are all eager, very much so, for this wonderful cake that has been prepared today. Just have to say, I love these cupcakes and this cake, decorated beautifully. So massive thank you to Susan as well for all of her hard work. There are so many of you that have contributed to us all being here today. So thanks to everyone for your hard work, your dedication, the community spirit that has brought us to this point now where we can enjoy some of that hard labour and that passion together. So thank you all for being here today. Let's tuck into some cake. What do we say?